Let's welcome in, I don't want to call him a guest on the show because it is his show. He is the great Rich Eisen, London calling, getting ready to call a game in London. The Bills and the Jaguars. How is London, Rich?
Cheerio, gents.
Cheerio to you.
Cheerio. Hello, Governor. You should have worn one of those hats today.
Yeah. Where's your funny hat?
Like a tam o' shanter?
Yes.
So you're going in tam o' shanter? That's Scotland, isn't it?
Make it a wacky GDM bit.
One of the Buckingham Palace hats, guys.
Like a beefeater hat?
Yes.
Like a lid?
Yeah, beefeater.
Dressed like the palace guard.
Yeah.
That's like half of Brian Kenny. Is what you're saying? How's his hair? Does his hair still look the same? Because I don't look
okay.
I look completely different. He looks exactly the same, right? Brian's frozen in time, correct?
He kind of has that like full head of hair, but like not doing anything with it, kind of full spiky thing.
Just there.
Like, I have product in my hair, way too much product.
Bless him.
Like Kenny kind of looks like it's just long and no product and perpetual bedhead, but hey, look at me, I'm showing off, I still have hair.
Let's talk a little bit of baseball here. Let's do it. Because here's my issue. Why doesn't baseball reseed? Why in the world do the Atlanta Braves, after the season they just had, boat racing everybody with 5 guys in their lineup with 35 home runs, that they now have to take on the Phillies and not the Diamondbacks? That is ridiculous. Just because that's the way.
I agree with
that's
you,
just the way that the bracket is. The bracket is the bracket, and we're not going to reseed. That's why the NFL playoffs is the best. They reseed. If the 7 seed advances, guess what? The 1 seed faces them.
They're not
going to just. Am I good?
Well,
I was going to say, am I wrong?
I also think, and Brian and I were talking about this. I said, is it good or bad that we had sweeps for all these first 4 series? And he thought about it. He's like, well, it's neither here nor there, I guess. I mean, let's get on with it. But I know we had the Phillies as a 6 seed get to the World Series last year. All right, maybe we see that this year. But if you have these sweeps, like, are you? Yes, it's fun for those fan bases, for these teams to stay in it all throughout the regular season. The Cubs, the Reds, for example, in the NL, battling down to the final weekend. But if these teams generally aren't going to go anywhere, we're going to get sweeps, and like, why are we here? For the TV
it stinks
revenue.
That there isn't obviously a decisive game 3, right, for any of these wild card series. And I bet you Major League Baseball sitting around going, really? Out of all 4 of them, we didn't get one game 3 at all. But look, I think I'm talking your language too, Brockman, and same with Sarah. That come on, like and I understand that the Dodgers would have had to face the Brewers technically, right? So that said, the Brewers didn't advance. It was Arizona that advanced, and so now Arizona should be the ones to face. Atlanta. Certainly in the baseball playoffs, such a crapshoot. Once you finally get into these series and these games, they're the sport where I guess seeding doesn't matter the most, but you should still at least do such a thing. And then Philadelphia. I mean, out of any home ballpark, do they have the number 1 home field advantage in the playoffs? I know Houston is loud. I can't wait to see what Camden Yards comes across
Camden Yards
looking
is
like
be
and sounding
amazing.
like. Right? I mean, they have been waiting for a long time. So I'm eager to see that. But man, I just thought to myself, wait a minute, the Braves get the Phillies. That there's something off about that.
The other thing too is both of those NL series are division series, are teams in the same division.
They know each other, I guess.
Fun. I mean, it is, I guess. Obviously, they have a history. Braves beat the Phillies 8 out of 13 this year. They're 8-5. But wouldn't you rather see, like for years we had it in the NFL, well, you can't play a team in your division, right, in the first round of the wild card
I remember that too. But that's what I was, ready to, have a take on, if anything. That on my flight, I was thinking about that on my flight, and anybody on a transatlantic flight, when they turn the lights off and they put the shades down, anybody that still has a conversation with their seatmate should be on a no-fly list. That is just at this point in time, and there's nothing so pressing to have a jocular conversation at this point in time that can't wait until the plane lands. We should cease and it's a quiet car, a quiet zone. honestly, these people have something wrong with them at this point in time. So
I agree.
if I seem a little bit cranky, irritable, tired
looking. Did you sit next to someone like that on your flight?
No. In front of. Okay, in front of.
Wow. Did he have his light on too? Because it
was a woman. It were two ladies, and it's just like, you know what? And I'm like, am I going to be that person? Am I going to be that person? No, I wasn't that person, Chris.
Wow.
Thank you for thinking the least of me. But I would have had every right.
Yes,
to
that's
have turned around and said the following: "What is the matter with you people? What is it? Just honestly, what? This back and forth between you and your seatmate must continue on for the next 4.5 hours while we're all trying to sleep.
Did they know each other? Were you able to figure out, were they friends who were flying together, or were they just two random people that
it's just
met?
Honestly, it's just like you people can't like each other that much. You can't. It's what I was thinking. And I thought to myself, I'm sitting in front of two female Del Tufos on this flight. That's what I thought. And I'm like, I can't wait to get on the show.
With a wig, please. Can we get on that? Can we do that?
I almost.
Or maybe there's a real photo.
He makes funs with everyone.
Just don't fly with him ever.
There's also, and whether it's a red eye or a transoceanic flight, when they turn the lights off, I'm sorry, when everyone goes to bed, you shouldn't put your light on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like if you need to prep for this big meeting, that's fine. Use the light on your own phone, or if you're probably reading your laptop at that point, you can read your laptop without the overhead light on. I'm trying to sleep. It should
be. Listen, Andrew, I know you don't have children. It's like night time. Lights out. No more talking. No more talking. Lights out. It's time to sleep. What is the matter with you people? Don't you understand what the time zone difference is going to be when you land? What do you just blow past this whole jet lag thing? I think I made my point.
I
almost tweeted about it. I almost tweeted about it, and I deleted it because when you tweet about your travel problems, it's kind of like your fantasy team or the bad beats in poker. Nobody cares.
I think it's worse than those two.
I actually do care about people's fantasy.
Yes, because then you're coming across.
All right, hold on, I'm tweeting this out.
As the elitist.
I care about fantasy problems. Not
average fan sitting in the upper deck or average fan sitting in 35B in the back of the plane is
no. Yeah, Andrew,
that's how they're reacting.
I'm sitting in coach. I'm not.
I've gotten that flack when I've done those tweets.
This had nothing to do with the seat. It
has
to do with.
I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't.
It's a societal issue.
That's how they're going to react. They're going to react because I've done it. I've had those tweets about like, oh, this guy's got his filthy feet on the wall or something like that.
Wow.
It's like, whoa, but you're sitting in first, buddy. I get that all the time.
Andrew,
they give me crap.
They give me crap because I get mad about people reclining their seat in front of me.
Don't get me started on that.
But see, that's a problem.
No, I recline my seat. Deal with it.
Yeah, don't give me the option.
Button that pushes my seat back. By the way, you behind me are allowed to push your seat back as well.
That's awful.
Okay,
Andrew, you're 5'6". All right, I'm 6'3". Like I need the room more than you.
So push your seat back.
That wasn't an issue for me.
We don't need a height shame.
That wasn't an issue for me because my seat mechanically went into a flatbed. But listen, that's for another day.
Of course, I knew that. First world problems.
I knew that.
We should feel bad about him. He's sitting in 1A.
Yeah.
On a transatlantic double-decker flight.
There's nothing better than the beds on the plane, though.
Garcon, where's my champagne?
Honestly, my choice for breakfast was not available when I woke up.
My chocolate chip cookie was not warm.
This scramble has cheese
Do you understand?
in it?
Do you understand?
Rich,
there are only 50 selections for the films, okay? So I was very upset when the people behind me didn't shut up.
Just take the hot towel and cover your eyes with it and go to sleep. Like, come on.
Sometimes we say this is a first world problem. This is literally a first class problem.
First class problem?
Yes.
Hey, okay.
So at any rate, when I did land, I can tell you this. It's just at customs. Okay, at customs and passport control, just upon landing. And again, this is unofficial in terms of how things might play out on Sunday. 10-1 Bills fans. 10-1 Bills fans.
Really?
Yeah.
10-1.
But that's
10-1.
not surprising. Is it? The
Why would
Jaguars
that
have
be?
a residency there. Like Jaguars fans aren't flying from Jacksonville
Yeah, they're already
because
there.
it's not a
They're
novelty.
like Celine Dion in Vegas?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
all right. But
It's not a
10-1.
novelty, right? Bills fans, this is a novel. Like, we're going to London,
They were
people.
everywhere. Did you see the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, change the blue law in
Yes.
New York for Sunday
You mean the
to make
governor?
sure that the people can drink? Yeah, got the governor
8
of New
a.m.
York.
8 a.m. You can
Yeah.
start serving
Really?
in Buffalo.
Start pounding.
Let's
Start
go.
pounding.
Tables
yeah.
are going to start getting broken mad early.
But I'm telling you what, though, they were setting up fire pits at passport control, getting ready to just jump in and just stomp people.
Did
Like,
anyone jump on a
that's what it
folding
was. The mafia
table
was there
at immigration?
Bro, mafia was there at passport control. And so that's just the first blush that there were tons of Bills fans. Maybe Jaguars fans have just been here already for a week, and the Bills, by the way, fly out tomorrow. So they're practicing today. We just Zoomed with Sean McDermott, the coach of the Bills, who, by the way, said it is feasible. I'm paraphrasing, but he said it is possible that Von Miller plays. They're going to see how he practices today. There was a little bit of a walkthrough on Wednesday, but you're going to see how he practices today. Looks good, and it's entirely possible Von makes his debut here in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where there's, again, 10-1 Bills fans at passport control that I saw today coming off of my red eye.
Von has not played since the knee injury, obviously on Thanksgiving a year ago. Yesterday on the podium, he sure sounded like he was ready to go. Obviously, we'll find out on game day. You and Kurt Warner on the call. Do we think here that they are going to have folding tables outside in Tottenham?
I don't know.
For Bills fans to jump through.
I'll let you know. Maybe that's what the ladies behind me were talking about.
They were setting
just
up the
here.
tables. Devon, get the table.
Or the
hope
ladies,
they're
do you
at
know
the
that they
game.
were Bills fans?
I hope they're at the game.
I don't know. But that's the early report here from London
Love it.
for the four windows of football, as Brockman likes to call it.
It's so great. I love it.
So yeah, we got that going on.
Do you think, because I was thinking about this yesterday, people think, the Jaguars have the advantage here, right? Because the Jaguars are there. I actually think there is something to be said about a potential disadvantage for the Jaguars being there for 2 weeks, because Doug Peterson, Rich, last week, before they flew off to London for 2, said that there were a lot of logistics that he was still trying to sort through in his head, like things like looking at film 1 week to the next, things like rehabbing injuries. Hold on, stay right there. This is the Rich Eisen Show. We'll be right back. Breathe. Still on Roku. Between
we're seeing him on Saturday. We're seeing him Saturday morning. We'll ask about it. All I know is I'm on fumes right now. And again, it's just time difference and things of that nature, and 2 yammering ladies on the flight. But put it all together, I can only imagine it's a complete advantage to be on fully acclimated to the time zone and everything like that. And I can't wait to ask, like, what did they do all week? Like, what happened? So we'll ask him about that. And on Saturday, tomorrow I've got Bills practice. Saturday is some Jaguars practice, and then Sunday's the game.
I know what MJD did. We had 45 seconds. I looked at MJD's Instagram. Maurice Jones-Drew, Jaguar legend, was over there. He posted something from Ibiza this week.
Oh, he went to Spain. God bless him.
He's just partying?
There are family beaches in Ibiza as well.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah,
I did not know
Other
that.
side of the island.
By the way, very impressed that you went Castilian.
Yes,
with Ibiza as opposed
Castellano.
to Ibiza.
Let's all speak some Castellano. Yeah,
very, very impressive. You're hooked on phonics, bro.
Have you hiked there? You had to have gone on a hike there, right? Is that why?
We got to be
5
up
minutes,
against the hard
like 5
out.
times. Yes.
I mean, we have to be.
We have 15 seconds. Rich, are you cool to stay over for the
top
top
of
the
next hour?
All right,
you got it, brother.
5-minute nap. Stay there. Live from London in a hotel room after a 4-minute nap between segments, after a red eye with 2 people talking with the lights on who would not show up. Do you feel refreshed? You're refreshed.
I feel very refreshed. Thank you for asking. Yeah, we're here. I'm Zooming with 3 Buffalo Bills in about 10 minutes time, 12 minutes time,
nice.
to prepare, because I'm a lead pipe wielding professional. Josh Allen is one of them. Gabe Davis is another. Ooh. And I made the suggestion for this third Buffalo Bill. Brockman and TJ have been hearing me talk about this guy for some time. I've never spoken to him, but his play speaks volumes. We're going to chat with Matt Milano.
Yeah, you are.
I love this.
Love him.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. Right? I mean, because I just love the way he plays, and he was part of Sean McDermott's first draft, 5th round pick out of Boston College. And McDermott, when we Zoomed with him earlier today, I said, did he, show any signs of becoming the player that he is today? And he basically said, I had a really good track record of linebackers from BC. And I'm thought to myself, oh, that's right. Luke Kuechly, when he was the defensive coordinator in Carolina, got it. Yeah, I made that connective tissue right there. And the fact that he's even, putting Milano in the same sentence as Kuechly just speaks volumes. I can't wait to chat with this guy, because he's the guy that makes this whole thing go.
Makes everything work. The heart and soul in the middle of that defense. A defense that 2 weeks ago sacked Sam Howell and turned them over 5 times. A defense that took the Dolphins behind the woodshed last week after they had scored 70. Rich, this one's fascinating for me. Just the setup for the Bills going to London against a team, as we said earlier, the Jaguars, that have been there already for a week, coming off such a huge win with a statement like something told me that the Bills were getting sick of hearing about the Dolphins scoring 70 last week, right?
Yeah.
And they went out and they showed that on the field. Now we get Von back. That's awesome. But we got to get on a plane and we have to go to London. And how that plays a factor in this game, and what we see from the Bills after these 2 great defensive performances and really 3 great performances overall since week 1 in New York, I'm fascinated to see.
Well, the Bills have won 3 in a row, all of them by 28 or more points. That is tied for the longest such streak in the Super Bowl era. And the last team to win 4 in a row by 28 or more points in terms of margin for difference is the 1942 Bears. So the Jaguars are not a team, though, that can be easily boat raced. And that's what's pretty cool about this thing, is the Jaguars and Bills are both trying to repeat as division winners. And if you look at the rest of the, landscape, not just in the week 5 landscape, obviously there's the Cowboys and the Niners, and I'll be back on tomorrow's show with my usual Friday fare of top 5 most intriguing matchups that I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend. Outside of, that Sunday night game, this is on the marquee, and I'm psyched to be calling it. And then there's, what Jacksonville currently stands at is a 2-2, and you look at the rest of the AFC South, everyone else is 2-2, and I'm seeing the Titans next week. I'm sticking around here in London, kind of pulling a Jaguar, and the Ravens come into town to take on the Titans in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and that's going to be a big game as well, because the Titans are coming in to London off of what they're going to be playing Sunday in Indianapolis, who's also 2-2, and the Houston Texans are 2-2 with CJ Stroud doing his thing. So this is kind of one of those early gotta have it games. I'm not going to call it a must win game, clearly, because it's just week 5, but getting this thing down pat where the Jaguars can put their calling card on the table against the hottest team in the AFC and the team that's atop my power rankings for AFC teams. I've got the 49ers as my top team on the top 10 power rankings. But this is a big one for Jacksonville to come in and say, yeah, we lost 2 in a row. We already lost 1 at home to the Chiefs, another one of those teams that we can put our calling card on the table saying, yeah, last year's appearance for us in the Final Four in the AFC is not an outlier. We are part of this club. Lost that 1 at home to come into Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this time as the road team, because this is a home game the Bills are playing on Sunday, technically. It's a pretty big one, guys.
Yeah, it's a big one, too, for the Jaguars, because I had said in the offseason, I know they're good, but how good? Are you just the best team in a bad division? Certainly playoff worthy, but maybe not championship worthy. Now you look at it, the division's better than we thought. They've already lost at home to the Texans here. To your point, the Jaguars got to put their foot on the gas a little bit because they're not just going to, cruise at 55 in the left lane here, easily win this division. There's a little more resistance in this division than maybe we thought back in June. Speaking of, real quick here, that Colts-Titans game, Jonathan Taylor, I want to play this for you, spoke today in Indy for the very first time since Jim Irsay had him on the bus back during training camp and came out and said, we're not going to give him a contract, and if both of us die tomorrow, the world goes on without us. Here's what Jonathan Taylor had to say.
Number one, just first off, feels really good to finally be healthy. I mean, number one, the whole time the main goal was to be healthy. Everyone in this whole thing, the main goal was to be healthy, to go out there, to be able to do what I love, which is play football. So just going through that journey throughout this whole time, been a lot of things said and done, but at the end of the day, the number one overall goal for everybody was for me to get healthy. And I think everybody was on the same page with that one.
All right, so he says all the right things here. The ankle's good. I'm healthy. I'm ready to play football. Now, how about the do you want to play football here part of it? Here's what he had to say to that.
After the offseason again, when there were trade requests, whatever, how committed are you now to the team? I mean, are you here 100% and all that?
I don't think it matters on if I'm saying I'm committed or not because I'm here. I mean, if somebody wasn't committed, they wouldn't be here. And right now I'm here, and my number one goal is to really attack this first practice. It's been over 290 days, I believe. I mean, when you're not doing what you love, you're gonna notice it. So it's been over 290 days. So my main goal has been to attack this first day. Yesterday was a walkthrough, so today is second first day.
Interesting. That plays differently now that you see him smiling than I read the quote earlier.
I know you read
Twitter.
the quote and I read it, over here on apps and things of that nature. I hadn't seen that soundbite until just now, so I'm glad I got a chance to see it because I've been talking about this subject for months on the program. It's just when it says, I'm here, basically breathing, I can fog up a mirror. That's the way it reads on a piece of paper. But when you see this or you reads on your phone, when you see this, it just is another fresh reminder of just how delightful a human this kid is.
Absolutely.
And how easily you should be able to root for him and how much of a damn shame it is that the running back market is viewed by National Football League ownership and management the way that it is, because these running backs are crucial towards wins and for wins and losses. And they also put their bodies on the line in the mosh pit in ways that cause them to wind up like Saquon Barkley currently over the last 2 weeks and Austin Eckler like the last 3 weeks, not available. And I understand this is maybe part of the reason why they're not paid, but then you also see the Giants flailing for first downs and flailing at protecting their quarterback because nobody is respecting their run game without Saquon Barkley. I can guarantee you Daniel Jones doesn't get sacked 10 times and the Seahawks don't bag Giants 11 times behind the line of scrimmage on Monday night if Saquon Barkley is there running the football to make sure folks aren't pinning their ears back. And this is why guys like Jonathan Taylor should get paid, because Saquon Barkley missed the last 2 weeks, and the incentives that the Giants gave him to come in from the cold are now essentially dead and buried. And these guys deserve their money when they should get it. And I can't wait to see Jonathan Taylor out there, because it does appear that we're looking at him getting ready for Sunday. I cannot wait to see him next to Anthony Richardson, just to see what Shane Steichen, who is absolutely a man that appears to be ready for the job and the moment in Indianapolis. What will this offense look like with Jonathan Taylor in the same backfield as Anthony Richardson? What happens at the mesh point? What happens at the 5-yard line? What happens at midfield? What happens makes the Indianapolis Colts that much more interesting taking on the Tennessee Titans on Sunday and throughout their season. I'm so happy to see this kid back and seemingly happy and seemingly smiling instead of scowling because he didn't get his money. The same thing with Saquon Barkley this summer, cursing on a podcast because he's so infuriated by his situation. So that's what I thought of when I saw this soundbite right now.
And I agree with you. It plays a lot differently on TV now that we see it than it does on paper. Context truly does matter. Don't believe everything you read on the Twitter or the X. That said, I know you got to get out of here. I know you got Bills meetings. Tell Josh Allen we said hi, please.
I will do it. All right, guys.
And we'll catch you tomorrow.
Chat with you. We will do this again tomorrow. Have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, sir.
Rich, do you want to ask Gabe Davis about hanging out with us at the Burt Kreischer?
You should do that too.
Yes, I will do that. Anybody have any fantasy questions I need to ask Gabe Davis or Josh Allen? Anybody?
Ask Gabe Davis to keep scoring touchdowns. That would be nice.
Okay.
Right. Josh said yesterday that he thinks Steph should have been Offensive Player of the Week, by the way. Josh was. But
who was it?
Yeah.
Who was Offensive Player
of the Week?
Josh
Allen was AFC Offensive Player of the Week. He said it should have been Steph.
I have statistics right here.
There you go.
Rich, just tell my buddy Josh
Allen
hi.
threw 4 touchdowns, added another on the ground. The Bills are 23-4 in games when Allen doesn't turn the ball over now.
There's another great one, too, that the Bills tweeted out. I believe Josh Allen's been Player of the Week 11 times. Double-check me on that. 6 of those 11 have come after beating the Dolphins.
Wow. There we go. I like it.
Wow,
and Nick, by the way, I hope that stat was worth it because it's that white piece of paper that's causing a beautiful light bounce on my face on this shot that I for 15 seconds was not lit properly. So I hope the stat was worth it. You know,
totally worth it.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
thank you.
You did.
Thanks, guys.
Fun, Rich.
Hey, look,
thank you, Rich.
Just taking things for the team. That's all I'm doing.
That's all you do.
Done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Rich Eisen, everyone, live.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
On the Rich Eisen Show.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.